This is Todd. Todd may look like your average porcupine, but in fact, he is not. Todd is only 22, but he has walked quite a rough path for a 22-year-old porcupine. You see, when Todd was a teenager, he went way too hard. He was the loudest, drunkest life of every party. Although on the outside he was the coolest porcupine with the shiniest, greenest boots, on the inside he felt lonely and lifeless. He utilized alcohol and other substances to try and feel connected and alive. Soon those substances backfired and got Todd into some life-threatening trouble. By the time Todd was 19 years old, after an overdose and suicide attempt that landed him in the hospital, he decided that life might be worth living, and if Todd wanted to live, he could never touch a single substance again. September 17th of 2016 marks Todd's first day of sobriety and recovery. Todd made a lot of friends with a bunch of other students from his university that are all in recovery. These are all of Todd's friends. With almost 3 years of sobriety under Todd's bow tie, he decides he wants to travel the world. So Todd goes abroad. As Todd hopped on a plane to leave the only continent he's ever been on, he began thinking about what the future might hold. He was imagining non-stop fun, adventure, learning, and connection. Little did Todd know there was more than just fun coming his way. There was growth and change. Once Todd began his experience abroad in Prague, he got shocked twice. There was the shock of being in an entirely different country, yes, but the real shock that startled Todd came from the discomfort in his very own home. All of a sudden, there were alcohol bottles right next to Todd's toothbrush. It had been years since Todd had alcohol near his toothbrush. Goodbye comfort, hello growth. Todd had completely forgotten what drinking culture in college is like. He was so wrapped up in his own sober bubble that he almost forgotten that the average college student likes to drink and party, even on the weekdays, and especially while abroad. Todd felt different from his fellow students. He immediately began this me versus them mentality. As uncomfortable as this was, this is actually how Todd grew. He came clean to his roommates about his recovery. Although they didn't really care whether Todd was sober or not, he still felt like an outcast. Todd was looking for the same kind of connection he had back in Boulder, but then he realized that this isn't Boulder, this is Prague. But as time went on, he felt more comfortable and liked by his roommates and classmates. Friends were on the horizon. The more he was able and willing to accept the differences and just go have a good time, the more he was able to accept the fact that drinking is a thing and not drinking alcohol doesn't make you uncool. You can still go out with people. Todd also learned that you don't always need other people for connection. You can connect with a geographical place. Todd was so used to doing fun and exciting adventures with other people, but he had never really spent days and days on end just connecting with a physical location. So Todd went solo. He traveled around Europe just by himself. And what he learned when he traveled solo was that he actually made more friends from people all over the world, and he didn't need to drink to make them. By the end of Todd's experience in Europe, he had cultivated connection with different types of people from all walks of life. He realized that being in recovery is not his entire identity, and that just because he doesn't drink doesn't mean he's not cool. People always told Todd that going abroad would be a life-changing experience. But what Todd didn't realize was that life-changing doesn't mean all fun all the time. We hear people have a life-changing experience and don't realize the immense journey behind it. How life-changing doesn't mean endless bliss, but growing through discomfort. Todd has now put 2 and 2 together and can say for certain that his experience abroad was life-changing. Now this sounds like quite a story for a stuffed animal porcupine with green boots, now doesn't it? As much as Todd would like to claim this feel-good film as his idea and his story, it is not. It is mine, a real human. Hi, My name is Isabel Lavery, and this is my story of being sober abroad. However, it's way more fun to tell through Todd.